Afternoon, guys. Okay, so we're on 5.5, what we call first differences. Number 1 says for the relation y is equal to 3x, complete the table of values, or t-chart, whatever you want to call it. And we're only doing the second column for now. So what you have to do over here is we make up numbers for x starting at 0. Okay, so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. We substitute this number in for x in brackets, okay, because that's 3 times x, and we pump out a number for y. So if I put 0 in there, 3 times 0, 0. If I put 1 in there, 3 times 1, 3. If I put 2 in there, 3 times 2, 6. If I put 3 in there, 3 times 3, 9. And if I put 4 in there, 12. And you'll notice that this follows a pattern, right? 0, 3, 6, 9, 12. Okay? To graph it, I tell my students, instead of graph, you know that's going to be a straight line because it's going up by the same amount all the time. So instead of graphing all these points, let's just plot the first one and the last one. Okay? So when we go to our graph, I've got zeros. Okay? And then I've got right 4 up 12. And then with a ruler and only a ruler. The ruler is just a guide to where you're going to put your, the dots are just a guide to where you're going to put your ruler. Extend the line out both ways to the end of the grid. It's a line, so you should have arrows on them. Okay? So letter C says, based on the relation, the graph is linear. Linear meaning a straight line. Describe the pattern of your x values. So go back up to your table of values. Your x values are increasing by ones. Okay? Let me go back up over here because we're going to need our t-chart again. So letter E down at the bottom, which I know you can't see, but we got to do it up here. Letter E says, name the third column in the table, first differences. Here's how we calculate the first differences. So I'm reading letter E down near the bottom. It says calculate each entry by subtracting consecutive values of y. Record the values in this column. So here's how we do it, okay? We look at just our y numbers. Okay, so first differences has only to do with the y values. We take the second one, we subtract it from the previous one. So 3 subtract 0. We take the next one, 6, and subtract it from the previous one. We take the next one, 9, and subtract it from the previous number. And we take the last one, which is 12, subtract it from the previous number, pumps out 3. And what do you notice? The first differences are all equal. Now, what does that tell you? So, what did you notice about the values of the first differences? They are equal and positive. Okay? So flip the page over when you're done. We're going to do another set of table of values over here. Let me just get set up here. So now we give you another relation, okay? Y is equal to negative 2x plus 7. You should be able to do this in your head, guys. I'll do it the long way over here, but you should be able to do this in your head, and I'll explain what I mean by in your head. So again, we make up values for x. There they are, okay? If they're not there, you would use 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. You're substituting 0 right in there in brackets because this shows multiplication. Don't forget to add 7, okay? So I'm going to do it the long way over here. So here's what it looks like. Y is equal to negative 2, open bracket 0, drop to plus 7. If you're not good with simple integers, let your calculator do this. Okay, so I got, that ends up being 0 plus 7, pumps out 7. Okay, substitute 1 in for x. Okay, what does that pump out? Negative 2 times 1, negative 2. Negative 2 plus 7, 5. If you're not good with doing it in your head, then let your calculator do it. So I should have put the answer 7 over here, and I should have put 5 over here. Okay, substitute 2 in for x. There's the 2. Drop the plus 7. What does that pump out? 3. Substitute 3 in for x. Drop the plus 7. What does that pump out? 1. And now substitute 4 in for x. Again, if you're not good with simple integers, enter that with your calculator exactly the way you see it, and that would pump out negative 1. Okay? So now we're going to graph it like we did the previous one. So I'm going to graph my first point and my last point. Okay, first point, 0 and 7, 0 up 7. Last point, right 4, down 1. Now be careful, down 1 is just one box there, right? Right there. And now you got 2 dots. Put your ruler on the 2 dots. Extend the line out both ways. Okay, it's a line, so you should have arrows. Technically, we should label this line. What are we going to label it? We're going to label it at the very top what our equation was. Our equation was y is equal to negative 2x plus 7. So this line represents the equation y is equal to negative 2x plus 7. Okay? So letter C says, based on the graph, the relation is straight line, still linear. Describe the pattern in the x values. Same as the last question. Increase by ones. Okay, now again we're going to do the first differences. So remember how to do them from the previous page? So first differences. Second one, subtract the previous one. 5, subtract 7. Negative 2. Next one, 3, subtract previous number. negative 2. Next one, 1 subtract 3. So I'm going to run out of film very soon, guys, okay? So I'll have to continue this if I get cut off, all right? That equals negative 2. Next one, negative 1 subtract 1. Answer is negative 2. Okay, back down at the bottom. What do you notice about the first differences? They are equal. And positive. And negative. And it makes sense, right? Because our graph is going down to the right. Okay, negative slope. Remember, we read it from left to right. Okay? So we're going to continue on the next page, on the next screen.